All right, Jacob, let's talk about a handful of the baits that were critical to you in your Bass Pro Tour victory, Stage 3 at Raleigh. I'm looking over here at a plug, first of all. That came into play early and midway through the competition, correct?
Yeah, this came in, this actual bait, it's a Livingston shredder. It dives about, I would say 4 to maybe 7 foot. You know, it just depends on what size line you're throwing on. And it was a big player. It was the second day, which was the first day at Falls for us. You know, like I said, I'd been catching some on a swim bait out over the like bluffier banks, and those fish kind of went away. I think they got out suspended a little bit farther. So I went to throwing this just around bridges and stuff, wherever I could find just a little bit of current and where those fish would kind of set up, and ended up catching a few to make it in by 2 ounces. And then the next day, I caught an 8-10 on this, on like the last 15 minutes, and you know, caught some other keepers that really helped me advance into getting into the top 10 round for going to Sharon Harris.
All right, so let's go to the plastic. Now this is one that, after kind of an early clue that you got throwing a buzz bait, this is what you ended up going to for the majority of your fish on championship day, correct?
It was just this is exact. I mean, I never picked anything else up after that. This was it's just a V&M chopstick. It's just a do nothing, you know, kind of worm. I mean, it's just a wacky worm. And I think back of, you know, why would they bite that? You know what I'm saying? Why do they do that? So, you know, wacky worm, you hook your hook through the middle, like a mustad. This is a Titan wacky. Nico hook is the one that I was actually throwing in this with. But you hook it wacky style, so when you pull it, like the tails or whatever kind of come together. So we always called it a 3 pump or 3 pull kind of deal. And the reason for that is so when it does the first time, it's come get me. You know, so
that's your rhythm.
So that's the rhythm, you know, for throwing it. But just a little thing, I always, in the springtime, I always dye the tails, both in chartreuse. Sometimes I use a black ring where, you know, you hook your hook through the ring. Sometimes I don't. This is basically what I threw all day, and the reason for that, those fish were really shallow, and the buzz bait was the one that kind of set me off. You know, when I spooked that fish and it ran off, I knew they were really shallow and they didn't want something that was real loud or something. They wanted something that was real subtle, and this with no weight in it, V&M chopstick, it sinks real slow. And you know, something coming into their bed and they were spawning, and it was just put it in your hand. I think at one point during the tournament, I actually stopped to try to fish for one on the actual bed for about, I think it was about 15 or 20 minutes. And the reason I did that, there was 2 or 3 big ones that just kept coming up there with it, and I was thinking maybe one of those big ones will bite. And I ended up losing it. It was about a 2.5 pounder, the one that finally ended up biting. And I remember picking this up and going back to fishing, and I don't think I made 2 or 3 casts and caught a big one or something on it. And I remember telling myself, put that in your hand, dummy. Don't put it down, dummy, you know. And JT, from what I understand, JT commented on it. He said, I've been telling you that for the last 45 minutes, but you know, he couldn't, I can't hear him or nothing, but he was saying, just pick up that wacky worm and go to fishing. So that's how it all kind of unfolded.